we have, at least the past few years, this idea of a law of attraction has been very well known and discussed a lot. And most of us do observe it, right? Even we don't know exactly the science behind it, we do observe that sometimes we expect something or think about something, and then we kind of experience it, whether it's something we're afraid of or something we really like, right? It can work both ways. And so we have a feeling that that law of attraction works, which means I attract, right? Things that somehow I'm close to the vibration of. When you see it from the fourth dimensional point of view, yes, it looks to you like you are sitting somewhere stationary, minding your own business, going about your life, and all of a sudden events come to you. And that's why it feels like you attracted them. It's almost like you're the pole, you're the magnet, right? But that's correct from that point of view. But if you really look at it from the point of view of the fifth dimension and above, which now I'm introducing a little bit the fifth dimension, because up to this point I was just saying multidimensionality. So the fifth dimensional point of view, which is one dimension above what we are, fifth dimension experience time slightly different than us. So the only difference between the fourth dimension and the fifth dimension is that time is not linear in the fifth dimension, which means if you have a perception of your life from that point of view, you would see your past, your present, and future all at the same time, right? And because you're seeing also all the versions of you, you have a very generic idea of what your life is. Now, if that's the case, right? And now remember to that idea, I'm going back to that idea of a radio station tuning into radio wavelengths in the room. And whenever you tune into one, it doesn't mean the other ones don't exist. And remember, I just said that's pretty much what happens with the parallel frames. So what happens is this. When I'm sitting here on my chair, let's give a very specific example. Let's say this was my place. It was Friday night. This is an example I love to give. And let's say I had no plans. No one had called me, so I realized I was gonna stay home, lonely, and have Friday night alone, and it really reinforced the idea that I'm lonely, right? So let's say I started feeling sorry for myself, and I started feeling lonely and sad and a little bit of as a victim. From my point of view, I'm still sitting on this chair thinking, oh, no one loves me, no one called me, I have no friends, what's going on with my life? And what is happening, remember, I'm hopping from frame to frame to frame to frame, but I don't realize because I'm just sitting here in this chair. But in this case, even though I'm hopping from frame to frame to frame, they're not very different between them, even though they're different ones. They're similar vibration because what? I keep thinking and feeling what? The same thing. I'm lonely, no one wants me, no one called me, my life sucks. Excuse my French. So, I don't see any difference. Now, I'll tell you what would happen, and I would think it's the law of attraction. So let's say all of a sudden, after an hour of thinking or feeling that way, I decided enough. You know what? It's okay. I'm okay. It's Friday night. It's not the end of the world. It just so happened, I'll sit inside, make some popcorn, watch a movie that I love, and tomorrow's a new day and all that. So without me realizing, right, because I didn't do it very consciously, but I got fed up of that other energy and those other thoughts, I started shifting my thoughts. Now, because I'm having thoughts like, yeah, it's not that bad. It's just on Friday. It doesn't mean that I'm lonely. It doesn't mean that no one likes me. Because I'm having those new thoughts, I'm having new feelings about it. My body's reacting to those thoughts. So obviously, I'm feeling what? Worse or better? Better. So now I'm changing the vibration. I'm changing my frequency. I'm moving to frames that have that new frequency. So all of a sudden, while I'm sitting there, did I move? I didn't even go to the kitchen to make the popcorn. I'm still thinking it, sitting here on the chair. All of a sudden, my cell phone rings. I pick up the phone. I'm like, oh my God, who called me this? Maybe it was later, at night, so I wouldn't expect anyone to call me. And all of a sudden, there's a group of my friends who are telling me, you know what, where are you? Are you home? I say, yes. And they say, we're right down that bar, which is really close to your place. Put something on and come down and have a beer with us. And all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, what a coincidence. Oh, the law of attraction. It didn't really come to me, right? It feels like the phone rang, so it came to me as an event, like that event happened to me. No, I hopped to the frame that anyways the phone was going to ring in that frame. But I went there. When I changed my thoughts. Most of us don't realize that we're changing those thoughts because we don't realize that we feel this in fourth dimension. We didn't move. I was always on the chair. No, I had moved so far in the fifth dimension because I had changed those frames so much. If, going back to the same example, I didn't shift my thoughts. And I kept thinking, oh, poor me, I would probably fall asleep on this chair or, eventually fall asleep in my bed, and no phone would have rung.